Sonic the Hedgehog is a game everyone probably knows about, but how well do I know the game? To test that, I attempted to recreate the first Sonic the Hedgehog from memory. That means I couldn't use any internet or reference images, just my memory. But before we start, I have this really realistic goal of passing MrBeast in subscribers by this week, so please click the subscribe button. Like always, I started by creating a new project and naming it. Next, we needed our main character, because we can't make Sonic the Hedgehog without Sonic the Hedgehog. How do I do this? Eventually, I made something work, and then I made a running animation. I made a new sprite, applied the Sonic texture, and gave it the platformer behavior. Now Sonic was able to move, but I needed him to face the direction he was going. Once I had that done, I added the running animation by playing it every time I press the arrow key and stopping the animation when the arrow key is released. I also adjusted the hitbox so Sonic doesn't randomly clip through the ground. Now we have a playable character, so let's start making the level. Alright, now I'm going to make the dirt and the grass texture. I think I know how they look like. I'm not really sure. I imported the texture into the game and started working on the background, which was a pain. I added the background into the level by just putting it at the bottom of the layer, which was probably not a good idea because it may cause some issues later. I made the ring texture and I think it looks pretty good. I made a spinning animation for the ring and made them disappear when Sonic touches them. Now I had to make a ring counter so we know how many rings we have. I did it by making an instance variable that increases by 1 every time Sonic touches a ring. I found a bridge texture from a past game and imported it into the new one. I adjusted the hitbox so Sonic doesn't have to jump every time he crossed the bridge. I also made the ring box or TV by making the texture change to a broken one when the player jumps on it, and rewards you for doing that by giving you 10 rings. I felt like it was time for some enemies, so I made the robot fish, piranha plant, chopper. I made the sprite with the chopper texture and made it jump out of the water using the sign behavior, but it didn't hurt Sonic in any way, so I needed to make a life system by having a number that goes down by 1 every time Sonic touched an enemy. It didn't really do anything, so I made a respawn point that Sonic will be teleported to if the number goes down to 0. Yeah, I just realized that is nothing like the actual game, but I made it from memory, so please don't judge me. So now the enemies can attack. That means the next thing I made was the Moto bug. Please say I'm right. For the Moto bug I used the same sign behavior, but instead of it jumping up and down, I made it move from left to right. But it didn't quite work, so I tampered with the numbers until it looked kinda right. I also had to be able to jump on the Moto bug to kill it, so I made 2 hitboxes, one for killing the enemy and one for damaging the player. Now for the actual layout of the level. I deleted the testing part and started working on what I hope will become Green Hill Zone. I also made some blocks jump through by just literally adding a jump through behavior. By the way, the program I'm using to make this game is Construct 3, a super easy to use game making software with no coding. It is so easy even a baby can learn it, and no, this video is not sponsored by Construct, I just find it super helpful for beginners like me. Anyway, I made a slope by creating a solid sprite and adjusting the hitbox so the player can walk up the slope. Then I decided that I wanted to give Sonic a jumping animation. The first time it didn't work and Sonic couldn't even jump anymore. The second time the animation worked, but only when Sonic was standing, and if I held the jump button for any longer, Sonic turned into a ball and slid along the ground. Then I just gave up and left Sonic with its prototype animation. I also added a camera shake for every time Sonic lost a life, and continued working on the level. be honest, I really remember the layout up until this point, so the rest of the level was mostly random. I tried to steal a spring from my past game, but ended up with just the sprite and had to do the coding myself. I remembered that the original level had an underground part, so I attempted to make one. The loop, let's just say I couldn't get it to work. Then I made the sunflower and the palm tree to serve as decoration. I made the end sign and definitely did not steal any sound effects from the internet. Finally, I have finished the game. But now let's compare it to the original. Okay, let's start off with Sonic the Hedgehog. So I think mine looks pretty good, you know, so let's see the original. I mean, it's not bad.
I mean, it's alright.
Mine has a smaller head and the colors are way darker on the original. The next one is the dirt or grass sprite, which I have a feeling is going to be way different. Oh, there's a giant shadow. And the colors are way more orange on my version of the sprite. Next is the chopper. Let's just see the original. It has so much more detail. Mine looks absolutely garbage. Now is the Motobug, right? Oh my! I thought it was like a ladybug, but looks like it is not. And yeah, again, it has way more detail than my version. So now the UI. So I forgot about the time and the score, and I put the lives on top instead of the bottom. And now for the background. Okay, I messed up. It doesn't look similar. I mean, it kinda does. And now the level layout. Oh my god, it's way longer than I thought. My layout is similar up until this point, I think, but the rest is completely different.